Early morning, one and all. Welcome to Shanvi Learning Services. We are in lesson 2, plant tissues. Okay. Let us recall new words, keywords from plant tissues. Children, please look at the screen. Tissue. All of you, please repeat. Tissue, meristematic tissue, apical meristem, lateral meristem, intercalary meristem, dermal tissue, epidermis, bark, vascular bundles, ground tissue, parenchyma, cholenchyma, sclerenchyma, vascular tissue, xylem, phloem, vessels. Okay, children, these are the new words, keywords in this plant tissues lesson. Okay, let us see. In last class we have learned about the cell, tissues, organ and system, and unicellular organism, multicellular organisms, and how cell is the basic unit of life. And in unicellular organism, there is only single cell to perform the all functions. Okay, to perform several life processes, growth, respiration, excretion, and in multicellular organisms, there are many cells. That's why we can see the division of labor. Division of labor. Okay, and we have done activity also, the which parts of the plant and their function. Okay, the parts of the plants which involving in the particular functions are given in this table. Serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Functions also given. Name of the parts we have written already. Absorption of water from soil, exchange of gases, photosynthesis, transpiration, reproduction. These are the functions. The which parts involving the functions. Okay, so see here today we are going to do activities. Okay, then here the activity 2, cells in onion peel. Cells in onion peel. See here, the question is, for this activity, how do you observe? How do you observe the cells in onion peel under microscope? How do you observe the cells in onion peel under microscope? Draw and label the diagram. Draw and label the diagram. Write your observations. This is the question for this. Okay, how do you observe the cells in onion peel under microscope? Draw and label the diagram and write your observations. Okay, how do you observe the cells in onion peel? So look at the picture, all of you. Cells in onion peel. See here, we have to take a piece of an onion peel. Take a piece of an onion peel. Here you have learned already in 8th class how to collect that sample. Okay, let us recall once how to take a piece of an onion peel. See children, We have to take onion bulb, peel an onion, peel an onion and cut out a small fleshy portion. Okay, so peel an onion and cut out a small fleshy portion from the bulb, from the bulb, and break this piece into two small parts. Break this piece into two small parts and try to separate them. Try to separate them. You will notice a thin translucent. You will notice thin translucent membrane holding the pieces together. Okay, children, you will notice a thin translucent membrane holding the pieces together. Check out the membrane. Cut a small piece from it. Take out the membrane, cut a small piece from it. That piece you can use. Okay. Okay, children, I repeat. First of all, you have to take an onion bulb, peel an onion and cut out a small fleshy portion from the bulb. Break this piece into two small parts and try to separate them. You will notice a thin translucent membrane holding the pieces together. Okay, when you break the two pieces, you will notice a thin translucent membrane holding the two pieces, holding the pieces together. Take out the membrane, take out that particular membrane, cut a small piece from it. Okay, that piece here, take a piece of an onion peel. In that way, we have to collect the sample. Now, place it on the slide, which you have collected the sample. You have to place it on the slide. Put a drop of water and then a drop of glycerin on it. Put a drop of water and then a drop of glycerin on it. By putting this drop of water and glycerin, we can see, okay, we can observe a clear structure under the microscope. Clear structure under the microscope. So we have to put a drop of water and then a drop of glycerin on that particular sample which we have collected on the slide. Okay, children? Next. See here. After that, gently cover that sample with a cover slip. Okay. Why we are using the cover slip is to avoid the disturbance of the sample which we have collected on the and placed on the slide. Okay. So here we have to gently cover it with the cover slip and observe it under the microscope, because it's a microscopic. We can see we can observe under the microscope. We cannot see with our naked eye. So observe it under the microscope and draw and label the diagram that you have observed. While you are observing, children, you have to maintain an observation book. While you are observing, you have to draw what you have observed under the microscope. Okay, children, draw and label the diagram that you have observed under the microscope. So while you are observing, you have to be ready with the observation book, and with pencil you have to draw and label the diagram what you have observed under the microscope. See, children, here compare your drawing with the figure number 1 onion peel here given on the screen to find out labeled parts. Okay, while you are observing, you have to draw neatly. You have to maintain the drawing book, like observation book. Neatly what you have observed. Under the microscope, you have to draw in that observation book and compare that figure. Compare that figure with this textual figure, figure number 1, onion peel. And find out label parts. See, look at the screen, all of you here. Cell wall, the main differentiation in between animal cell and plant cell, the cell wall, which will protect us. And here dot-like structure. Yeah, that's the nucleus, pink color one, and fluid portion, the cytoplasm. Okay, here we can see labelings here: cell wall, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Okay, children, I repeat, take a piece of an onion peel, as I told you just now, how to collect the onion shampoo. What we have done here, you have to peel an onion and cut out a small fleshy portion from the bulb, break this piece into 2 small parts and try to separate them. You will notice a thin translucent membrane holding the pieces, 2 pieces together, and take out the membrane, cut a small piece from it. That small piece helps to you to observe under the microscope. You have to collect a thin piece from that and take a piece of that onion peel and place it on the slide. Put a drop of water and then a drop of glycerin on it to get clear picture, and gently cover it with a cover slip. Gently cover it with a cover slip and observe it under the microscope. Draw and label the diagram what you have observed. Okay, you have to maintain the observation book at the time and you have to draw what you are observed. See, children, in your intermediate, you will have specimens and slides in practical. You have to observe under the microscope and draw the given figure. They will give slide. You have to observe under the microscope and find out what slide is given, that particular structure, and you have to write name also. Okay. So if you learn from now, it will be easy for you in further higher education. Okay. And draw and label the diagram that you have observed under the microscope. What you have observed under the microscope, you have to draw and label. So what you have drawn that, you can compare. You can compare with the textual figure, figure number 1, to find out and label parts. Okay, fine. Here, some questions are there on this. Okay, the first question: are all the cells similar? Are all the cells similar? Here in this I am asking, the cells in onion peel, are all the cells similar? Here clearly the image is appearing on the screen. So please look at the screen and think. The first question is, are similar? In the cells in onion peel, figure number 1, are all the cells similar? Yes, similar in shape and structure, children. The cells which we have observed in onion peel are similar in shape and structure. Okay, children. And next textual question 2, how are the cells arranged? How are the cells arranged? How are the cells arranged? Just you see. Look at the screen, all of you. Here, intercellular spaces are present, right? See, in between that cell and cell, spaces are present. So, in between cell and cell, there is an inter. Okay, Between the cells, some space is present. So intercellular spaces are present. Look at the screen. Next, cells are arranged in rows. Right? Cells are arranged in rows. Look at the screen. All of you. Cells are arranged in rows. Next, each cell has cell wall, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Okay, children. Each cell has cell wall, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Okay. Here, for questions: are all the cells similar? Yes, similar in shape and structure. Similar in shape and structure. Then second question, how are the cells are arranged? How are the cells arranged? Okay, Sai Madhav, very good. You have collected a leaf and somewhat. Okay, very good. It will be helpful for next activity. B. Sai Madhav, appreciating you. Next, how are the cells arranged? See here, look at the screen. Intercellular spaces are present. The spaces are present in between the cells. So here, intercellular spaces are present. Okay. And next one, the cells are arranged in rows. Cells are arranged in rows, row by row like this. Fine. And each cell has cell wall, nucleus, cytoplasm. Okay, each cell has cell wall, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Okay, children. So here question is, how do you observe the cells in an onion peel? How do you observe the cells in an onion peel under the microscope? Under the microscope. Draw and label the diagram. Draw and label the diagram and write your observations. Here we can write our observations. Cells are similar in shape and structure, and cells are arranged in rows. Okay, cells are arranged in rows, and we can see intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces are present, and each cell has cell wall, nucleus, and cytoplasm. We can write these observations. Okay, children, these are the observations which we had observed under the microscope, cells in onion peel. Okay, children, let us go for next activity. Yes, the next activity is cells in a leaf peel. Cells in a leaf peel. Okay, fine. Here, take a beetle leaf like tamalapaku. Take a beetle leaf or transconsia or rio leaf. Okay, take a beetle leaf or transconsia or rio leaf. Why we are collecting these only? See, children, these leaves are comfortable. These leaves are comfortable, and we can collect that thin sample from it. From that sample, we can observe clearly. We can see clear internal structure of that. We can observe under the microscope very clearly. So here we need to understand the cells, how the cells are arranged in a leaf peel. What is the structure and what is the arrangement we have to see. So we have to collect a thin portion from that and observe under the microscope to understand about that under the microscope. Okay. So that's why we are taking here beetle leaf, transconsia or rio leaf. And tear it with a single stroke. Tear with it a single stroke. You have to take a leaf. We used to play in my childhood with that leaf like that. Okay, so you have to take a leaf on this left hand and with a single stroke you have to break that. You have to break down that with a single stroke. Tear it with a single stroke. Tear it with a single stroke. So that a thin edge be seen at the torn end. Okay, children? Tear that particular leaf with a single stroke, and because by that a thin edge be seen at the torn end. At the torn end, we can see a thin edge. Okay, Sai Madam, please can you do once? Take that leaf and with a single stroke you can tear that. Sai Madam. With single stroke you can tear that. Very good. And you can see that thin edge at the torn end. Okay, Sai Madam. Thin edge at the torn end. Okay. Observe the thin edge where the leaf. Observe the thin edge. See here. Where the leaf has been torn under the microscope in the same manner as you had observed the onion peel. Before that, here I am giving Rio plant leaf and beetle plant leaf. Please observe. I am sharing on the screen. All of you please observe Rio plant leaf which we had collected to observe under the microscope. Rio plant leaf. Look at the screen, all of you. A beautiful image on the screen. Rio plant leaf. Okay? Fine. Next. Beetle plant leaf. Beetle plant leaf. Beetle plant leaf. Like Tamalapaku. Okay? See here, Rio plant leaf is different, beetle plant leaf is different, but both are suitable and perfect to collect a sample and observe under the microscope. See here, Rio plant leaf. Look at the screen, all of you. I am sharing on the screen. Beetle plant leaf. Okay, fine. Now, we have to observe after collecting that sample from beetle leaf, peel, same manner as you had observed the onion peel. So what same manner? You have to spread that particular sample on the slide. You have to spread that particular sample on the slide and add 1 or 2 drops of water and glycerin also. Okay? Put a drop of water and then drop of glycerin also on that sample and gently cover that sample with cover slip. Gently cover the sample with a cover slip. Keep in that particular place of the microscope and by screwing that at a particular point you can see that, you can observe that a proper image, clear image with eyepiece you can see. Then stop there. Then you can start the drawing in your observation book what you have observed. And while you are observing, you can draw. Okay. After that, you can draw a diagram of what you have observed. Here, observation diagram is given. Observation diagram is drawn in your observation book. Later, we have to compare. Later, we have to compare it with a textual figure. Figure number 2, beetle leaf peel. Beetle leaf peel. Okay. Now, here, some questions are given. Observe clearly. Look at the screen, all of you. And are all the cells similar? Are all the cells similar? Here, In this cells in onion peel, cells are similar in structure and shape. I have told you about cells in onion peel. Don't bring this matter to there. That is different. Okay, here cells in a leaf peel. Here the question is, are all the cells similar? Look at the screen, observe figure number 2, beetle leaf peel. See children, it's not, okay, because not similar in shape and size like as onion peel. Okay, cells in onion peel we had observed. All cells are similar in shape and structure, but here the cells are not similar in shape and size. Shape and size. Okay, the next question. Is there any difference in their arrangement? Please observe and think. Is there any difference in their arrangement? Is there any difference in their arrangement? See children, here they are arranged compactly. They are arranged compactly, living in the small gaps called stomata. They are arranged compactly, living in the small gaps. Living in the small gaps called stomata. Okay, stomata are surrounded by bean-shaped cells. Those are called gourd cells. Gourd cells. Sure, they are arranged compactly, living in the small gaps called stomata. See here, in your human beings, what is the use of nose? What is the function of nose? Is nose helps in exchange of gases, right? Nose helps in exchange of gases. Likewise, I can say stomata is a nose of the plant. Can you support my statement? Okay, why we should support your statement, sir? Because here stomata also involving in the exchange of gases, children. Likewise, how our nose involving in the exchange of gases, likewise stomata also involving in the exchange of gases. Plant, in plants tomato, here in beetle leaf peel, stomata of leaf involving in the exchange of gases. So here how our nose is involving in the exchange of gases, likewise here stomata also involving in the exchange of gases. That's why here we can consider the nose of the plant, which stomata is the nose of the plant, right? Because our nose and stomata both are doing same function, which that are involving in the exchange of gases. There may be chance to give in exam nose of the plant dash stomata. Okay, stomata, S-T-O-M-A-T-A. See here, stomata are surrounded by bean-shaped cells. Bean-shaped cells like this. Okay, stomata are surrounded by bean-shaped cells. This is a bean-shaped cell one. This is a bean-shaped cell one, like this. So, like kidneys. Okay, bean-shaped stomata surrounded by bean-shaped cells. Those cells are considered gourd cells. G-U-A-R-D, gourd cells. that guard cells can give protection for that stomata. What our security guard will do in any company or office or bank is security guard will give security, right? Like that here, the security like guard cells which are surrounded by stomata, which are in bean shaped, which are in kidney shape like or bean shape. The both cells are surrounded by stomata. That bean shaped cells are called guard cells, GUAOD guard cells, which will give protection for who? For the particular stomata, which will give protection. It involved in the stomata, involved in the exchange of gases. That's why we are considering stomata is a nose of the plant. Okay, fine, children. Okay. Next, here are this all the cells are similar, completed. Is there any difference in their arrangement? Completed. Next, third question. What can we infer? What can we infer from the above activities? See here. What can we infer from the above activities? See here. Once again, our question is, what can we infer from the above activities? Here, from the above activities, it's inferred that from the above activities, it is inferred that some of the cells may modify or arrange in a different way. See, children. What can we infer from the above activities? From the above activities, it's inferred that some of these cells may modify or arrange in a different way. May modify or arrange in a different way to perform specific functions. Okay, we infer from above activities some of the cells have modified or arranged in a different manner, a different way. Why? To perform specific function. To perform specific function. Here, just to see that two cells which are in bean shaped, surrounded by stomata. Why is this arrangement? Why is this arrangement and why those are in that particular bean shape? To perform specific function, to give protection for the particular stomata. So for that, some of the cells can arrange in different way or modify also. So that we infer from the above activities. Okay, next question. Have you noticed that the cells are in groups in both the activities? The question, have you noticed that sorry, have you noticed that the cells are in groups in both the activities? Have you noticed that the cells are in groups in both activities, both the activities? These cells are arranged in groups, children. Yes, the cells are arranged in groups, right? Yes, very good. The cells are arranged in groups. Have you noticed that the cells are arranged, or cells are in groups in both the activities? Which activity? Beetle leaf peel activity and onion activity, like onion peel activity, cells in onion peel activity and cells in leaf peel activity. the cells are arranged in groups, right? Okay, fine. Then let us go for next question. Compare and write a note on the arrangements of the cells that you have observed in both of the activities. If possible, please uh, draw one box. Left side one activity, right side one activity, and write the difference in between that. Here, compare and write a note on the arrangement of the cells. Compare and write a note on the arrangements of the cells that you have observed in both activities, activity 2, activity 3. Like cells in onion peel and beetle leaf peel. Okay. I will try to give some comparison how the cells are arranged in both activities. See here, in activity 2, cells are almost of a same size shape, right or not? Already we have discussed it just now. Cells in activity 2, onion peel activity, almost of same size, same shape, right? The cells are in onion peel almost same size and same shape. Okay, thank you. What about activity 3? Yes, in activity 3, cells shape and size varies from one another, right or not? In activity 3, the how the cells are arranged? In activity 3, cells shape and size varies from one another depending on their function, children. I told you just now, the cells can modify or arrange in different manner, a different way. Why? To perform several functions. So depending on their function, cells are arranging, cells are modifying. Okay, right? Okay, fine. So in activity 2, cells are almost of same size and shape because depending on their function. And in activity 3, cells shape and size varies from one another depending on their function. As we have discussed, cells can modify or arrange in different way depending on their function or to perform several functions. Okay, one example also we have the bean shaped cells which are surrounded by stomata. Those are considered gourd cells, GUARD gourd cells to protect the stomata. So for performing that particular function, that particular cells which are surrounded by stomata, those are in that particular shape, bean shape, and surrounded the stomata and giving security for that, giving protection for that. For who? For the stomata, which is involving in the exchange of gases like our nose. How our nose is involving in the exchange of gases. Likewise, stomata also involving in the exchange of gases in the plants. That's why we can consider the stomata is a leaf, stomata is a nose of the plant. Stomata is a nose of the plant. Okay, here we have compared how the cells are arranged in activity 2 and 3. You may have observed that the cells are present in groups with certain arrangement. You may have observed that cells are present in groups with certain arrangements. With the help of the following activities, And we shall try to find out whether these arrangements have special roles to play in the plant body. Okay, to know that, let us perform some more activities. And as time up, I'm going to wind up the session, children. Thank you, Varandal. Let us meet in next session with beautiful slides. Thank you.
Good morning, students. Good morning, all. How are you all? I hope all are fine. Okay, good. Okay, I can see a beautiful smile on your face. Very good morning. Welcome to Sanvi Learning Services. Okay, in the last session, I have given you some task, I think. How many of you completed the task? Some task I have given you. Very good, very good. Okay, okay. Our topic is natural realms of the earth. We have discussed about natural realms or different regions on the earth. Then after the last session, we have discussed about plate tectonic or tectonic movement, how it goes for the formation of or changes in the landforms. Am I right? Okay, what do you mean by plate tectonic? The movement of the earth caused for the formation of new landform is called. Okay, so changes in the lithosphere. That all internal process. Okay, let me remind you one thing. We have two processes. One is internal process, which cause for the formation of landform. The same way, external external forces, which cause for the changes of landforms. Okay, in the last session, we have discussed about internal process, volcano eruptions, earthquake, slow movement and sudden movement, and different types of movement, divergent movement and convergent movement. Convergent in the sense, two plates when it come closer, it goes for formation of new landform. Divergent in the sense, two landforms which move away, so that also goes for formation of landform. The same way, some external forces also cause for formation of landforms. What are that external forces? Air or wind and water. Wind and water. Okay, these are the external forces, main two external forces which goes for formation of landforms. Today we are going to discuss about all those external forces. Okay, before, let me remind you three terms. First, we have first order landform, second order landform, and third order landform. I think everyone aware of that. What do you mean by first order landform? First order landform, nothing but oceans and continents. Second order landforms, physical features, plain, plateau, and mountains is a second order. Now today we are going to discuss about the third order landforms, the landforms which forms due to wind and water. Clear? Shall we start our session? Okay, done. Please look at the screen, all of you. Okay, our chapter, the natural realms of the earth or earth's lithosphere. You all know what is lithosphere? The outermost layer of the earth is called lithosphere. Another term we can tell crust. Okay, so next here, our aim to know about natural realms of the earth. And we have some topics here to be discussed. And here today we are going to discuss about the external process, how air and water transform the surface of the earth, work of water, work of glacier, and work of waves. These topics we will discuss today. And before, we have some keywords here. I request you all to repeat the keywords when I recite. First term is denude. What is the term? Denude. What is the meaning of denudation process? Denude. Remove the covering of land, or erode. It means when the river or wind flow, you all know that it remove the outer layer of the land, especially rock or whatever it may be. So that process we call denudation. We call. You have that term in the textbook, denude. Please look at the screen and note down that spelling. Okay. Next is weathering. What do you mean by weathering? Weathering, nothing but weakening and breaking the rocks and carry from one place to another place, or what we call rock due to air and water weakening the rock and remove or move from one place to another. That process, natural process, we call weathering. Erosion, you all know that what is erosion? Moving from one place. Soil erosion, already familiar for you. Okay, so next is vigorously or vigorous. Already you know what that feeling, vigorous. V-I-G-O-R-O-U-S-L-Y. This wind and water, vigorously try to remove the or carry the silt. The person who study about geography is called a geographer. Next is constructive. C-O-N-S-T-R-U-C-T-R. Erosion, vigorously, geographer, constructive. Okay, students? Okay, now all of you look at the screen. External forces. The heading is external forces, how it goes for formation of the landforms. And see here, we saw how rocks and mountains rise up due to the internal process. Beginning, I have told you, internal, we have some internal process like plate tectonic, and the same way convergent movement, divergent movement. This all we call, and volcano eruptions, earthquake, this all internal process. External forces like water and air are working vigorously to wear away the surface, and the interaction of these constructive and destructive forces gives rise to the great diversity of present day landform. These external process on one hand wear away the surface of the rock and mountain. Then they transport the worn out particles and deposit them in the lowland basin. The process of wearing away and deposition causes a general leveling of surface. This shaping of the landforms by wind, water is called third order landforms. Okay, already we know what is first order landform. Oceans and continents, that is first order landform. And second order landform, the physical features, plain, plateau, mountain is the second order landforms. And now we have here third order landforms. How these landforms form? Due to wind and water, the movement of wind and water. You all know that all the water bodies originate in the hilly region. When it flow, it carry a lot of silt and sand or debris along the water and deposit into the low-lying area. So that may be cause for formation of new landforms. Already you have learned in the previous class, plain, flood plain, and the same way another term, delta, the formation of delta. How this all happens? Because when the river flow, it carry all the silt and sand deposited into the low-lying area, which goes for formation of new landforms. The same way wind move, when the wind blow, it also carry the dust and debris, and in other term we can tell sand dunes. You know what is sand dunes? In desert area, you can see what happened. This is new hills forms, and next day it wear away or move away from another place. Like that, wind also has a key role to changes the surface or landscape. So these all together, this shaping of the landforms by wind and water is called a third order landform by geographer, the person who study about geography or the landforms. These landforms include features like carved mountains, carving. You know what is carving? When it move, carving, carve. Valleys, a V-shaped valleys, low-lying land. In between two hills, you can see valleys. Sometimes river flow through that. That particular landform we call valley. Next is delta. What do you mean by delta? Delta, how it's formed? Delta nothing but when the river flow. All of you please note down in your running note all these notes. Okay. So when the river flow, it carries all silt and sand deposit into the river shore. That's another way. Before joining the sea, the river divides into large number of small streams. It deposits lot of silt and sand, which forms delta. What do you mean by delta? It's like a bund you can see. Krishna Delta, for example, Krishna Delta, already you have learned in your previous classes about Krishna Delta. Because all the sediments, all the dust and the silt and sand, it deposited into the river shore. Or it goes for formation of new landform. Like a bund. That soil is very good fertile soil, delta soil, because silt and sand deposited by the rivers, Krishna Delta, Godavari Delta. We have many deltas in your state. And transport, and what happened after that, here see three processes we have discussed: valleys, deltas, and sand dunes. Sand dunes, already I have told you what is sand dunes in the desert, you can see. Okay, so small hills, and due to wind, the movement of wind, sand carried by one place to another place. And the process like weathering, nothing but what do you mean by weathering? Weathering in the sense weakening them and break the rocks, weakening and breaking the rocks and washed away from that particular place. That we call weathering. And the process like weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition. We have four processes in the external force. What are that four processes? If you get a question, explain about external forces. What are you supposed to write? These external forces or external activities done by wind and the water. These two. After that process, we have four processes in external force. What are that four processes? Process like weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition. These four processes we can see on our earth. And these all together we call denudation. What we call? Denudation or denudate. Okay, the process weathering, erosion, transportation, deposit, nothing but when the river flow, it what we call carry all the dust and debris, whatever on the way. So it erosion process in the sense same way soil may be erode and all things whatever the silt and sand in the water that also erode, and it transport and deposited into the low-lying area or the river valley. Okay, are largely responsible for these landforms. That is called denudation. Underline and write in your running note. What do you mean by denudation? The process weathering, tell me, weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition. This all together. Got it? So now let us see what all these process and how can we first here you see how air and water transform the surface of the earth. Rocks were formed out of the molten material coming from the mantle of the earth. That is internal process. How the rocks formed when the volcano erupted. That lava cool and it forms the rocks. Already you know rocks were formed out of the molten material coming from the mantle of the earth. These rocks over millions of years have been shaped into valley and plains of low soil, river valleys cut into mountains and plateaus, etc. Now how it's happened, just to see here, let us see. First one is weathering. What is weathering? Let us see. Weathering is a process by which the gradual disintegration of rocks by atmospheric forces or weather forces. What is weathering? Weathering nothing but is a process. Weathering is a process by which the gradual disintegration of rocks by atmospheric forces or weather forces. Atmospheric forces in the sense, you know, the chemical reaction we can tell, and wind and the atmosphere gases, these gases and chemical when it react, sometimes it affects the rock. The rocks when exposed to heat expand and contract when they cool down. See the process, how this weathering happens. See, due to heat, days and night goes for weathering. Sometimes heats, the rocks heats up and the same way expand and contract, expanding. Okay, and it lose its strength. This happens every day during day and night and year after year in summer and winter season. Season caused for this and day and night. Okay, and here years of time as surface rock contracts and expands and contracts again. It gradually becomes brittle and begin to break down. So it start breaking down what hard rocks due to wind and water or these climatical changes or weather changes. And water and moisture in the air is also helping this process. Water reacts with the chemicals of the rocks, further weakens the rock. Same chemical reaction also we can see in the atmosphere. Water and chemical which included in the rock. So this chemical reaction also goes for weakening the rock and erode or move away from one place to another place or changing the shape of the landform. This process by which the rocks are weakened and broken are called weathering. Please write it in your running note that point. What do you mean by weathering? The process by which the rocks are weakened and broken are called. How? Due to wind and water. That process we call weathering. Okay. And see, look at a large cracked rock and you will find the color of, sometimes if you observe, you can understand the color of rock. It means core part of the rock you can see one color and outer part of the rock you can see another color. What may be the reason for that? Already we have discussed due to like water and chemical reaction. Outer layer one color and inner layer another color. Okay, due to this wind and water or wind and water reaction. So chemical reaction we can tell. Okay, water, when the water rainy season lose the hardness or it lose the hardness and breaks. That process we call weathering. That term is very important. What do you mean by weathering? First process is weathering. After that, transportation. What do you mean by transportation? Already you know that now weaken the hard rocks, that particles or that broken part transport from that particular place to another place. The eroded material in the form of small rocks, gravel, mud, fine soil carried by wind and water is called transportation. Okay, that all materials, broken materials, that materials travel or carried by the wind and water from that particular place to another place is called transportation. Rivers and wind and even waves cut the soil and rocks from one place and take them to the another place. That process we call transportation. Weathering, first process is weathering, second process is transportation, and third one is deposition. Finally, that material all deposited into the low-lying area. Already we have discussed in the beginning when the river origins. So then from there, all the dust and debris carried by the river and it deposited into the low-lying area. The same way wind also, when the wind blow, this broken material washed away or move away from that particular place and dump into another place. When the rivers and winds slow down, they do not have the force to carry the material anymore and they dump in the particular area. These dumped debris help to form plains and river basin. Much of it is actually transported by rivers to the sea, where layer after layer of these deposited accumulate at the bottom and over of the transformed. So just to see that what they meant here, nothing but when the flow, the speed of the river slow down, all the sediments is deposited into the river shore. The same way, and what happens, it goes for formation of new landform. The same way, when the wind blow, it carry all the dust to one place to another place, and for it goes for the changes in the lithosphere. Some landforms you can see due to continuous flow of river or blowing wind make some changes in the lithosphere. And here you can see the picture. See, look at this low-lying area, and it passed through small. We can tell it as a canal or stream in our local term because it's almost like that. Yes or no? It's breaking the low-lying area or valley. See, can you recount the course of river from its source to its end, and guess how it will erode, transport, and deposit rock material? See here, the work of a river begins from its very source. In the high mountains, the flow of river is very swift as it descends the steep slopes, and it exerts a great force in cutting the mountain vertically. As a result, a deep valley develops, narrow at the bottom and wide at the top. See what happens here at the origin, when the river origin in the hilly region, the movement of the water is very swift, they have mentioned here. Very fast movement we can see because steep slopes we have in the hilly region. So it carries all the dust and debris or all the silt and sand. Okay, and when it flow towards river, or when the river flow, the speed of this river or this stream slow down. Okay, due to that speed, due to that from the hilly region, the swift movement of the river causes for formation of valley. Okay, that you can see on the screen. V-shaped valley, how it's caused for formation of changes in the landforms. You can see here. You can see a small valley. How it happens? Because the movement of the water very fast from the hilly region, and it cuts all the hard rocks, carve the rock, and it goes for formation of this type of valleys. A deep valley develops narrow at bottom and wide at the top. How a valley shape? Narrow at the bottom and wide at top. Very V-shaped. That's what V-shaped they have given here. This is usually called V-shaped valley. In this stage, water has such force as move every even very heavy and hard rocks. Please note down this point, how the work of water. Sometimes you may get a question, explain about the work of water, the formation of how it's goes for formation of new landforms, or how it goes for changes in the landforms. If you get a question, you have to write this point, work of water, how it's work. Very origin. Okay, in the beginning the river flow very fastly and it forms like what we call a V-shaped valley. Okay, so that process we call what work of water. And next is some cases where the rocks are very hard, the river cuts a very narrow valley, the sides are so steep that gorges are formed. What is gorges? You can look at the screen. Gorges, what do you mean by gorges? If you see the screen, you can understand gorges. See, this we call the gorges and this we call the canyon. Two terms you have to learn here. What is one is gorges and one is canyon. What is gorges and canyon? See, the rocks were very hard. The river cuts a very narrow valley. The sides are so steep that gorges are formed. See some example. The Bison Gorge in AP on the Godavari and Indus Gorge in Kashmir are example of this. Another important erosion form is canyon. A canyon is characterized by steep side slopes and may be as deep as gorges. And a gorge is almost equal in the width at its top and as well as bottom. So these are the two terms, and this also one type of landforms formed by wind and water. Clear? Okay, students. Now listen carefully. Just these are the some of the external process which goes for the formation of new landforms. Now all of you, please get ready with your running note. Please get ready with your running note. Let me give you some work which is related to, or some questions related to this topic. Please get ready with your running note. Did you get? Did you take? Okay, right? Denudation. First term is denudation. 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 First term, denudation. First point is denudation. Second is weathering. Weathering. Second term is weathering. Second term is weathering. Third is moraine. M-O-R-A-I-N. Moraine. M-O-R-A-I-N. Moraine. Moraine. Next, gorges. Gorge. Gorge. Canyon. Second one is canyon. Continue that. Gorge, canyon. Glacier. Glacier. G-L-A-C-I-E-R. Glacier. Glacier. And explain about first order landform, second order landform, and third order landform. Explain about first order landform, second order landform, and third order landform. First order landform, second order landform, and third order landform. And one more term, Mender. M-E-A-N-D-E-R. Mender. M-E-A-N-D-E-R. Mender. M-E-A-N-D-E-R. Mender. Okay? Okay, students, right answer for these questions and one more. In this topic, we have discussed two processes. One is internal process, which cause for the formation of landforms or which cause for the changes in the landform, and external process. We have some more points to be discussed. We will discuss all those points in the next session. So please, before that, please